looking around like, oh, Buchholz? It said Buchholz. That's exactly how it works, by the way. Let's take a look, actually, at our map ban. Which map we're going to be playing on. I'm quite interested to see where we get taken on. Oh, boy. It's Oregon. All right, it's Cloud9 that had the final say between Cafe and Oregon. And I think, Gio, you were saying something about map pools, actually. Would you mind?
Hot take, here we go.
Well, I don't even think it's that hot a take, because the truth is that regardless of what map they go to, Cloud9, wow, that's after hours. Cloud9 have won the map veto. Now, I'm really interested that they actually have decided to go to Oregon, because this is Electrify's best map in inverted commas. They have a 50% win rate on it after 4 games. They don't have any map that has a higher than 50% win rate, but Cafe Dostoevsky, Electrify played 3 times and they've lost it every single time. That would have been such an easy win for Cloud9, as if it weren't potentially easy enough, but I think it doesn't really matter in the end. Cloud9 will indubitably do better.
I mean, when your map pool is 1 map out of the 7,
yeah.
It's gonna be a tough ride. Yes, Dan.
I'll give you this. Yeah, this is one of Electrify's good maps. They've actually just won it 2 games in a row against Scars and Talon. That's great. But guess what? Cloud9 are undefeated on Oregon. 10 wins, 0 losses. It's one of their favorite maps. They have most wins on it over any other map that I've got in my stats, including Korean Open, APAC North, even the Major. Cloud9 are not to be trifled with. This is their home turf. I mean, that means that if Electrify can take Oregon for the 3rd day in a row, then sure, that'd be a huge upset. You're finally taking down Cloud9 on what I think is their best map, but it's probably not going to happen. Yes, Cloud9 had a bad day earlier this week against Fav, but Oregon is not something that they're going to let slide. I'm going to say 7-1.
So what do you do in this case?
That's pretty kind.
I'll give them 1 round.
All right, James, you're always such a benevolent lord, I gotta say. But honestly, I need to find out what are operators that Electrify can take away from Cloud9 that maybe perhaps can save the day, or at least give them a bit more rounds. Because right now, I think if you didn't get the general vibe, by the way, we're not too confident about Electrify taking this. So you'll have to, mind the gap, as they say. What do you do to try to handicap C9 just a bit?
In my view, C9 don't have any crutch operators, and they don't have any obvious picks they've got Lunar Metal, who's really good on Monty. That's what you would say about Giants, so just ban that. C9 don't really have that. They're happy to use the Monty, they're happy to use the Clash, but it's not like a go-to for them. I think that Electrify just have to make sure that they're playing in an environment they're comfortable with. So they usually ban Thatcher and Clash on this map. I don't even know if the Clash is necessary, but we'll see. It's going to be a convincing one, I think.
I personally think that it would definitely be more in their favor to ban Wamai. That's an operator that MV Taylor plays very well. And I agree with James. They don't have a crutch operator. They don't it's not necessarily going to cripple Cloud9 to get rid of Wamai, but I don't think Clash is going to make that huge a deal. And I think at the very least, take away an operator that has been utilized so well by one of the best players on this team.
All right, let's see how it turns out. We got our casters ready, our matches ready. All 10 players are set to go. Fluke, Hap, please take it away. Buchholz.
Did somebody say Buchholz? Yes, no. Nonetheless, Electrify pretty screwed, actually. They find themselves in the 11th place overall. Even if they're winning today, relegation is looming.
I'm getting the feeling from you and from those guys on the desk, there's not a lot of confidence in the Electrify camp right now. Social as well, you've agreed 84 to 16. Is it deserved? Kinda. Is this maybe, out of all the games we've had, one of the big underdog possibilities? Sure, you maybe couldn't write a bigger underdog story. As Dev said, this is like Cloud9's house. And Electrify have started to learn where things are, and they're like, right, give me the heavyweight title, I'm coming for it.
It's Cloud9, of course, they find themselves in 2nd place right now. They have almost twice as much points as Electrify has, and that says something. And Electrify fighting for survival, but if they want to achieve that, I hate to break it to you, but I think we need to see at least 4 wins coming out of them this season.
Well, it was,
phase.
Couldn't have a bigger Cinderella story. And you know, it's a tough start, tough first day at the office. You're going up to Cloud9's house and being like, sorry, I want this. And it's, you know, Cloud9. It's not that they're in any way have these faltering days outside of the one moment where things started to fall apart. They are the reigning champions and they're looking the part, crown and all. It's tough for Electrify.
It is very tough as they fight for survival. Of course, in their own region, they managed to dominate every single one of those teams, but in APAC North, it seems to be struggling a little bit behind it. There you have it. The My Band that was talked about before on the desk is being brought out just to stall out Cloud9 ever so slightly as soon as they're going over to that defense. Of course, Electrify has to survive their own 6 rounds first before they get an opportunity of firing some shots at the Cloud9's fortresses.
Laundry and supply will start, and the bands are fairly interesting. The modern kind of meta is slightly taking a bit of a back seat with the Wamai gone alongside the Malusi. Ying is the fear of that push pace that can be applied by Electrify. Sometimes with those big windows, you look at obviously the double onto the Dorm's site and that hold, or you obviously look around blue as well, digging it in and getting aggressive on bunker or potentially even laundry side. At times, Ying has her uses here. Apart from if you're Cloud9 and you banner out and you say, nope, no use today, try and take us in these flat firefights. Because as Gio kind of said, what's good about Cloud9's game is everything. And that includes just sheer gun skill alone.
It's a scary foresight going up against a team that is being praised as being so well-rounded and all-rounded as they are. Multiple maps they feel comfortable on, multiple playstyles they seem to be mastering. And, well, no real crutch operators that you can take out to hinder their strategies significantly. And what do you do then as Electrify? What options do you have? Now, as number one, you have play your own game. Try to play into your own strengths and hope it's going to be better than Cloud9's. But if they are so much better as they are being made out to be, that is not going to be really working out for you now, is it? So the second thing you can do is play disruptive. Make sure that they cannot get into their game. And that might be when you can catch them on a weak spot. And I think that is the game that Electrify needs to play right here. And I know that, for example, Triple is one to go for a lot of disruptive plays. So he might be playing a very key role here.
Well, here's the pace that we talked about potentially being applied, and C9 are clearing out tower as quick as they can. With the worry of the rotation, they're just going to leave a Claymore as a little surprise present for anyone that might get overzealous with the Dorm's pull. They know what they want to take a hold of, and it is this tower side with Clash. She's kind of a little bit away, but can rotate very quickly. Get herself into a position in a situation where she can buffer back if they try to collapse down pillar, or against pillar even. As the drones keep going and the motions keep moving, it's still just a steady, unfortunate waiting game. There's nobody really set up for this rotation, and I guess they're not 100% sure. The pace, though, on that clear, on that hatch, was step perfect.
Open up quickly here. Having too much issue with the Electroclaws coming out. Flashbangs now being tossed in. Harper looking to go for a potential drop soon. It might be a bit too early with 90 seconds left on the board, but definitely exploring the option, trying to find out where these players are located. And as Nova now gets one into blue, bunker into elbow, spots out that no one will be there as the drone gets mute gem. So no information coming out from pillar, but at least blue will be in their control.
Well, the wall is up, and Nova's looking to try and make it fall. The canisters are popped, and so is a potential angle, and so is Envy Taylor. Ray around the back stairs of freezers, able to make a pinch on the opposite side and pull something out of the defense. I talked about Clash holding on down in pillar, and that's where she's decided to set up. Doesn't have any ADSs by the looks of it to keep her a little bit more secure, so has to play a bit of a dancey game, and it's not really working out for C9 as 2 fall to triple lift, looking for his third as the door is being thrust upon towards the default spot, but it's Shael with that aforementioned Claymore from before, gets one more. There is an important pick, and there is a lock off Electrify. First round is yours.
Well, according to Dev's prediction, they're not getting a single one anymore right now. Yeah, you expected a 7-1 to be coming in here for Cloud9, even though Electrify is starting out on the defense. I'm not too sure if that will be what we're seeing. C9 has started off well, but Electrify definitely managed to bring it back. And as they are now leading by 1 round, it is up to them to try and build up onto this lead as much as they potentially can. Maybe force it up to a 4-2, maybe a 5-1 split. It's ambitious, but it is definitely not impossible.
Ambition and possibility. I mean, there's one of those words is going to be the main focus for Electrify today. They know the odds, as does everybody else, and in the words of a great space rogue, never tell them. They've got the first round. Let's see what they can build on as they head to dorms. The confidence of starting on their defense and starting on the right foot might give them a little bit extra, because Electrify, well, they need more than a little bit extra. There's no denying it. But Triple Lift getting a triple kill on a single door could be the start of something for a Jaeger who might be able to catch more Cloud9 players in his lovely net. Forgot what they're called for a second. What's the official word for his ADSs?
Active defense system?
No, but isn't there something he calls it? Magpie.
I think it's Magpie, but I think there's something for the elite skin that's called Magpie.
Oh, is it?
I'm not sure, actually. But yeah, ADS, Magpie.
Caught like a magpie was what I wanted to say, but I forgot that what they were called halfway through. Apparently, I'm not supposed to listen to HAP, is what Medics is telling me, and I never do.
No, I learned that after you threw away your headset as soon as you...
Yeah, as soon as I'm done talking, I
me.
take my headset off and then I put it back on.
Yeah.
Because you're too smart for me. Usually these big words and numbers, I just don't understand them. What I do understand is Envy Taylor trying to apply some pressure on the backside. We saw this was the start of the problems for Cloud9 last time, was Envy Taylor was caught out trying to apply this backside and side pressure. Then from then on it became a close down across the rotation. Okay, Ray was caught by a very well-placed Claymore we saw earlier on, but at the same time, it's the start of something. It's the start of we only have the push from one side, and they're not making that mistake again. The first off the board is Clash, a big loss with how she was kind of stunting what the attackers tried last time.
Just quickly Googled the official name. It's the ADS Mark IV and nickname Magpie. So, Medics indeed, right? The nickname is Magpie.
I like how you said that a little bit dejected. Oh, Medics was right.
I mean, no worries. I mean, Medics knows a lot about the game. He's been around for a long time. Had a bit of a casting journey himself as well before he decided to become an observer.
I heard he was at one point going to be an operator in the game.
He might still be. You know, maybe a creation operator will be coming next year.
Did I just spoil the creation operator as Medics?
I think you did.
Oh. Well, as long as I don't mention...
Oh, look at that. The one...
Yay! Hey, the single hole. They now have something that they can apply pressure onto Ray, and Ray is gone. Ray is out of there. Ray's going to focus on the door instead, and you probably should. Shael is there, and he wants to try and apply this pinch pressure. Envy Taylor is doing the business all over the map right now. They're aware Jaeger's here. Maybe. They're droning behind it. They've got to catch him. If they do not, if they miss him, okay, yeah. I don't know if they actually saw him there as well. I think he shot it because it turned towards it, as anybody would, but that would have been, amazing.
It could have been a really good flank to come in, but Triple Lift is going to be breaking it off as another member of his team will fall as Ray drops the board. That is the Maestro gone. That is the use of the Evil Eyes no longer there. As these smoke initiators are being deployed right now, surely soon the plans will be coming through, but Nova is having some issues getting through the breach as he stood up just too quickly. Is going to be making it through eventually though and start the plant. A kill coming in as Harper has to cover. A second one will be coming in soon as Shael has to cover right afterwards. It's up to Pikachu now to silence MPX to try and get the 1v5 underway. He does have a C4 to go for an explosive head start. He's going to be missing that. And he's going to be fighting a very uphill battle as he still needs to ascend these stairs. And as he was about to, he picked up the kill, but easily traded right after Shael managed to make his way all the way down through classroom, through the hallway, and picked him up as he decided it was time to walk the stairs to heaven.
That first round from C9, I got the impression that with that second round, they were just warming up. Everything that they played there was more akin to all the compliments and kudos we've given them. They had all of those angles covered. The one body there on the school bus window to make sure they couldn't pinch their way back up white stairs. We had, obviously, the intel information coming in from the back of tower, too. They knew exactly where each member was of the defense, and they knew how to set up the net of their own to catch any of those pesky defenders that drifted a little bit too close to the sun. And like Icarus, burnt when they hit the clouds. Now, as we find ourselves level pegging back again, we've got to try and double down on dorms to see if Electrify can make something work before they head to the site where they started it so well.
Which one of the 9 clouds did it hit?
All 9.
All 9?
I was trying to make an Icarus reference.
I'm sorry. I didn't play that.
Would play?
Oh, watch it.
Milos is fuming
okay.
right now.
I'm sorry.
The Fable of Icarus flew too close to the sun. His wings got burnt, so he plummeted.
Yeah, didn't grow up with that in Dutch culture.
Fair enough.
No,
Can't fault him for it. Milos is going to educate you later then.
that's okay. That's okay.
Just like a
He's
teacher.
the big bear educator.
Yeah, the big bear educator. Yeah, I think he's got that on a card. What Triple does on the card is I'm going to try and find other places on the map to hang around and hide out. The tower didn't work, so let's try blue with the potential to rotate up the stairs. We saw and complemented C9's lockdown. On the backside, as I said, school bus window was fervently watched and they knew to react to anybody that got a little bit too close, and well, C9 don't really fall for that too often, and it looks like they're going to try and make sure they don't fall for it again. A slight adaptation on the early bit there to have a few more bodies around small tower and get the collapse, and you question whether they might try and apply some pressure onto this small tower, big double window first, but no. Step for step, why change your worked recipe? Let's see if we can make some delicious death brownies from this one too.
Death brownies. That is a very interesting snack you might want to go for in the middle of the night. But Cloud9 here looking to put up, as you said, another fluent attack. It's going to be cutting up the rotation of the one player that is below. That is Triple Lift looking to go for a flank, as he often does so indeed from the basement. And they managed to hold it off now. There is a hole, a vertical, that as soon as he moves up these stairs, he will be picked up by Shao. And at the moment Shao goes off, of course, the man decides to sneak his way through. The question is, will someone go back on it? It doesn't seem to be the case, and that means the flank might still be on.
Well, the wall starts getting popped open in a similar method as it was before, but at least this time they still have all 5 players on the board. Sino hasn't been caught on the clash a little bit earlier, and I guess we'll see if that adaptation and, well, salvation is anything that allows them a little bit more give. Triple Lift waits patiently, curious for the noises of the breaching around on garage, waiting for anybody that also swings a bit too close as C9 try to catch the backside and make sure their flank is watched. It allows them to steadily make the progress they need to here, but Triple Lift is moving now. He wants to try and creep his way up the stairs, but there's a body watching again. C9, they know their angles, know where they need the cover, and know how to keep that core safe. Protect Mr. President, but the President has hard destruction, and Ray no longer has his life.
Ray lost them. Right now the clash is trying to get the attention here of the Soviet. There we have it, the flank finally coming up. The Claymore, however, will be there. Gets caught off guard as well. As Triple Lift now will be able to potentially make a big difference right here for the likes of Electrify. Knife coming into the clash, but not followed up with some shots as Nova is still afraid of Triple Lift potentially to be moving in. There he is. He's going to be showing up here. He's going to be helping on. Gets a kill when it turns it into a 3v2 situation. It's only up to him and the clash right now. 8 seconds left to try and stall out as long as possible. Triple Lift falls. We'll see now stay alive as he gets knifed time and time again. The timer runs out and Electrify will win it. As Triple Lift came up with a huge flank, and then the clash not being able to be countered by these players here, stalling them out just enough, turning that shield just enough just to make sure he would survive.
Imagine the comms. Imagine the calls. Imagine the shouting. Imagine the scenes. As Clash, after, as you said, the heroics of Triple Lift led to a lot of screaming, a lot of running away, a twist and turning tail around the corridors, I said, what is going to happen if Clash is alive? Will we see a difference in the fate of Electrify here? Clash said, yes.
How will we see the difference? Yes.
Yes.
That's also the answer.
Bikini Bodhi is so proud right now.
He's very proud.
He's out there somewhere, smiling.
It is hard to master, just to move your shield at the right moment in time, just to make sure the feet are not being shut out, because keep in mind, it wasn't just one person trying to challenge him. It was 2 people running after him, whilst the third one was potentially just grabbing the diffuser in all panic, hoping that he would be able to make it back to side. Because it was a 1v3 situation, I believe. Yeah, here you see it. 2 people running after him. I don't know what the third one was or what he was doing. Oh, Harper was runing after him.
Yeah.
No, they all ran after him.
With the diffuser. Harper had the
That's
diffuser.
a really big mistake here.
Yeah. All 3 of them decided to put the pressure on.
Oh, that's the biggest mistake we might see them make, because
That's why I would love to hear the comms. I mean,
people
I wouldn't understand. I don't speak Korean, but insane moment. And this game was going to be exciting. I think it was always the case, but people expected it to be a masterclass of C9, and Electrify, it's turning into like a 70s American scrappy film where the Mighty Ducks are pulling out these plays that are just winning them rounds. 2-1. Electrify, Dev Martyr, wrong. We should get that as a pop-up stat. Just like, you know those info boxes? Just Dev Martyr equals wrong.
It's been proven wrong many more times this season, but hey,
Yeah,
not going to give
I know.
him too hard of a time of it. This was actually really onto Cloud9, because you could have sent one guy after him, you would have forced him back, the other could have gone for a punt. It was enough time.
100%.
So no one else to blame here than, well, Harper really and Cloud9, and just a lot of credit to C9 being able to stay cool there, being able to continue tricking with that shield, making sure you're not getting shut out underneath your feet as soon as that shield moves up to the side. A little bit of a cheeky Electroclaw trick. Will it be in time? Oh, no. That's breached.
That's breached. Well paced in C9. We talked about how they were great with their utility the first time around, even though the site didn't end in success, and repetition seems to be the MO. But can they try and change the tune and the tale of how this ended up? Obviously, it started with a kill on the opposite side. This time, Ray's still holding down and locked off, and well, this time, C9, they're still allowing themselves this time to drone out, get intel. And I'm not wondering if they'll even try and apply some pressure onto this freezer side, or the adaptation will be, let's force ourselves strictly through onto the site. Let's try and batter down the hatches as Pikachu and Triple Lift do their best to lock it off.
Now, there is no more Electroclaws left, and that means that it will actually be taking down the last Selma here. Or rather, well, a Selma, as there is still one left. Because 2 were used on that hatch just to open it up so quickly, and that leaves you with just 1 left, which makes it impossible to trick the other Electroclaws to be tossed in and out. And thus Pikachu's going to be able to keep that wall close. That means all the pressure will have to come down from purely the pillar, as there's no other way they can really go. C4 being tossed in, not dealing too much damage to static somehow. And Cloud9 are really cuddling up right now. The Clash will be coming out soon, most likely as well, just to put some extra pressure. Smoke canisters are being tossed in. All the utilities coming out right now. Triple Lift will be able to pick up a kill into Nova. Pikachu's prone right here, able to pick up a double kill as well. Going for the triple as he misses that last shot, but it's Electrify that stand. And they are getting yet another round. Up to 3-1 right now, in a very unexpected lead.
Electrify are digging in. They are, as I said before that all kicked off, battening down the hatches. They'd opted to pull away from the Jaeger for the mute. That was their adaptation that they wanted to make. And Triple Lift, who's generally been a big force so far, opted to take it. And then it started with that pillar's hold. And as we saw, C9, instead of losing the person on Freezer, went for the adaptation of, well, let's put everything through onto Blue, onto Pillar, onto Elbow, where we had almost success. It was just a matter of if we had one more person to win that last ones, it could have been our round. Then Electrify's change. Electrify's adaptation was, we'll start here with the Clash. Clash takes a bit. She pulls back purely into that situation to allow the utility to be thrown over the top. It was this bait and play, this read of they're putting their pressure here and we can just lock off here. And again, it's these moments of they're hitting C9 in the heart of what C9's trying to do. They're taking out the diffuser carrier. They're putting stress on the actual utility push. C9 is stacked together. Sure, we've seen that a lot. But whether they know it or intend it or mean it to, they keep just hitting the right bit of the C9 wagon to make the whole wagon fall apart.
I just saw that play coming up again, you know, on the secondary clean feed. I used to try and see things, you know, back and how it went. And the IQ was the only one shooting. Hopper was teabagging after the knives came through. I'm not quite sure what really went on there, but yeah. The back on the Clash play, of course. But anyway, we're around number 5 now, and Electrify managed to put themselves up with 2 rounds. Might be able to bring this to a 4th. As Pikachu started off strong, then Shao taking off the board.
Wow.
Electrify, are you going to put that Cinderella story? Are you going to be making it true? I would love to see it. I'm a big fan of these boys and the improvement they've had. So it would be so deserving for them.
T2 all the way across to the outside armory door. It's a kind of standard pick that we've known about for a very long time, and whether C9 just didn't expect it or Electrify leaning heavily into this let's play against them game, either way, you've taken out Shayal, you've taken out Zafir, you've taken out a huge operator and player. Clash has opted for the opposite side and the opposite holds, but look at the pace that C9 is attempting to apply here. They have very quickly taken over a lot of territory on the top floor, and they've very quickly isolated Clash, and there goes Triple Lift. Unfortunately, missed the step, missed the mark, missed the cover. Didn't miss Clash this time. They've been able to take care of her upstairs. They try and drop down to what is become the tertiary site. They have angles, ideas, and holds now, but they also still don't have that Zafir. So Maestro cams in unfortunate situations might be a little bit more hard pressed to press and put pressure on if you want to try and actually dig yourself in.
That is going to be a hard one to swallow here for Cloud9. They need to hunt down onto Ray. If they're not going to get Ray, then those Maestro camps will be coming in late round. But there we have it, Envy Taylor being able to pick up Pikachu, the man who was under roam, who got the opening kill. And right now, that leaves them in a 2-on-4 situation. Around that Cloud9 should be able to pick up, especially now they're opening up on the back of the kitchen, a site and take you do not often see come down for this bomb site, but one that I think is really, really effective if you manage to get that meeting controlled that Cloud9 have.
Well, 40 seconds, big angles as Zulu's locked down by the big gun. There is a little bit of off-site play here, and if Smoke does something insane, it could turn into an unbelievable result. And, well, now he's the only one left, but Hibana has turned round not far enough. Dropped by Ed on the far side, 20 seconds, but the game is away. Cloud9, they realise they may as well put the diffuser down this time instead of trying charging down the last player. It's not all about the KD, it's about this. The sweet, subtle sound and country music of the post-plant audio. Now, 40 seconds. Ed and everything left to do and not much health left to do it as you get sprayed down from the close angle outside showers. The rotate comes to the other side and Cloud9 find another round.
Here we have it. There we have it. There we go. They're starting to fight back. They're starting to come back into the game after Electrify managing to pick up those 3 rounds. And I mean, I've said it before. If Electrify is going to be able to put up a 4-2 on the board here, that would be quite impressive. The 5-1 is no longer going to be happening after Cloud9 just picked up their 2nd round. But they still have the opportunity, as we are going back to Kids Dorms, to be going up for that 4th round. However, you got to keep in mind, the last time they won here, it wasn't purely due to the fact that their setup was so strong or their gun skill was so good. It was due to the fact that Triple Lift was really patient on his flank. He managed to wait until the absolute last very moment, cut through, took down 1, took down 2, and after that was a 2-on-3 situation with the Clash still being alive and able to just back herself out of that dangerous situation whilst the 3 of Cloud9 were chasing. And it's not something you can bank on. It's not something that you're going to be able to reproduce every single round. To Electrify, they really need to step it up for this defensive round, because otherwise this one will go to Cloud9 as well.
I'm so curious to see how this round plays out. I guess a lot of the curiosity comes with how the game has gone so far, which nobody really expected, Electrify being 3-2 up, but also the curiosity comes from this is the first time we've seen a site for the 3rd time. We've seen a win and a loss across the dorms so far, and it was 2 very different stories that started with the falling of a Clash and the inability to fall a Clash at the end of the 2nd. You would think, and it was an amazing clip, you would think Cloud9 should have taken that. It was a throw. It's fair to say. Can they learn a lesson here?
You definitely hope they learn a lesson here. They're the major champions and currently find themselves, I believe, in the second place on the overall standings of APAC North. So you gotta hope that they know how to adapt and how to learn these lessons in the mid-game.
Oh.
Nova's really confused as to why that Selma just got taken out, but there's someone in T2, and I'm not sure if they actually droned him out. He's just waiting.
It's just waiting. It's just puzzled. Science, you know? Well, Nova's going to try and creep up the stairs and see if he can take him on a bit more of an aggression. Triple Lift isn't too far away. If they want to apply a pinch and pincer, maybe they believe that Triple Lift was the one that did it and went for the rotate. Either way, the sound of the breaking window actually prove otherwise. They know that somebody is around that area. Can they get this opener? Because last time, well, it went okay. Last time they also tried to shut down Triple Lift. He started things off with a bang. There she is.
You know now, the red pings are coming. I'm not sure why the red pings are being used in a system where ping 2.0 is so overpowered, you can almost say.
I think they did it to try and make her move so they could just catch her on the window.
You would do it now, though, because now Shal has the angle. He didn't really have the right angle to do so before, but she's just going to stay put there, and a double impact is going to be tossed in. Just to try and do something. Actually, no, it was a concussion that came through. They're going to have to deal with her sooner rather than later, as the impacts of Ray will be failing to actually open anything up. She's going to be going prone. Has to be careful how... Why are you tossing in... I'm really confused about what's happening here. The utility usage of Cloud9 is something to be questioned, as Sino will be taken down, however. That is the entry frag going down for Cloud9, and that gives the opportunity for Pikachu to actually try and go for the rotate after the angle is no longer being watched by any of the Cloud9 members.
Yeah, has to pull their way back towards the site, and Envy Taylor is watching outside. Shael still isn't sure if they're there or not, and is going to have to pop more utility. Is the drone gone? Potentially destroyed by an impact. Either way, it's very late to be completely lost to how the Valkyrie has slipped through the fingers and hopped, skipped, and jumped all the way back round to Small Tower, looking to try and do some business from the opposite side inside the office, but nobody is actually in right now. Everybody's home. It's work from home time, and Harper has been sent home by Triple Lift. Holding up on top of White Stairs, a big rotation, a big bit of moments, and a lot of bodies dropped as Electrify storm a little bit further ahead, but Shael finally off the window is able to try and apply themselves to the doors. Finds two, looks for one more. The pre-fire comes through from Triple Lift, and it is another round to Electrify for 2.
I'm really debating now. Did Shal know that Valkyrie left? Because at the last 30 seconds, he was still watching through that window, just expecting anybody to pop up.
Oh, I don't think he had any idea.
I don't think he had an idea either, and that would be really bad on the likes of Cloud9. Not having the information, even though they had a drone on her the entire time, and you were holding the angle, like how can she escape without you seeing in that moment in time? Electrify, nonetheless, a very well played defensive round, as the Valkyrie was able to just hold up, well, basically 2 minutes of the Zophia's time. Then managed to rotate all the way back onto the side, just to support Triple Lift into those final 2v2 seconds. And they managed to win it. Electrify currently 2-4. They only need 3 rounds on the attack if they want to be able to pull up a very big upset here, if they want to be able to pull off this win here against Cloud9. A team that we, well, probably all of us expected to basically clap Electrify back home.
It's one of those games and one of those moments where you're looking at the rounds that have gone to the favor of Electrify. And, you know, you got to give credit to some of the plays that they're doing. Obviously, Triple Lift has been exceptional on the rotation. The Roam and Pikachu as well has been able to put some bodies down. But at the same time, a lot of it is built upon Cloud9 mistakes more than anything. Cloud9 mistakes, it's not even that they're explicitly being punished by Electrify. It's they're their own worst enemy in this game and have been across some of the rounds that they've been losing. And, you know, I guess maybe it's one of those first game on the split situations. And, yeah, you're reigning champion, so you might have been, you know, looking towards the end of this. You're guaranteed a slot. This looked like it would have been an easy day and an easy play day for you. And either way, what you've hit is unexpected stumbles and losses under your own feet so far.
Just quickly look back, and for 40 seconds, Shal was still watching that window, even used another impact and a concussion on it. until he realized that there was no one anymore like in that spot. Then he rotated out with just 20 seconds to go. So that's a real big play coming out there for Pikachu. Really gotta give him a lot of credits that he managed to sneak out without actually being spotted, because Shal is one of those big fraggers on the likes of Cloud9. It was basically non-active in the entire round due to just him being on window watching duty.
Yeah, this says a lot about him as well, that he was inactive for so long, because Valkyrie, with probably the Mission Impossible music in her head, able to creep her way up over, parkour the boxes, and I'm assuming lay down and crawled under the window. Either way, he then, Shao went off and then got, I believe, a 2K or a 3K. After being held up for so long, shows how good and effective it was. It was like saying, look over there. And it actually kind of worked. Again, little mistakes of Cloud9's that are leading to cost. Imagine if Shayal was there 20 seconds earlier and was able to apply a little bit more of the pressure a bit earlier and lead some of the other Cloud9 players in. Different story now, though, and look at the bodies of Electrify all across the top floor and trying to kick Clash down the stairs and into Harry Potter and out of the problems that she might be causing so far.
Used a lot of Clash themselves, some rounds with more luck than others, because to be frank, their Clash died twice very early on without having any impact. And it's not really something you would like to have from the Clash. Of course, one round was won purely off the back of the Clash as well, as Harper will be able to start things off. Cena will be taken down by the Scorpion, and Harper is not done yet. Goes for a second, goes for a third as well. He's going to be able to land that one. There's a lot of damage on Pikachu though, but not the kill quite yet. Triple If goes down, and this Zep surely will be getting the kill down into Pikachu as Static is on the hood. This will be a very comedic kill to come through, as there we have it. Just the CCE shield to get that last skill in. Cloud9 able to pick up a very strong round on the first defense they have. That might not spell too much good here for Electrify.
It seemed like Cloud9 kind of got a little bit bored of waiting for Electrify to do something. And to be fair, Electrify spent a while doing everything else. They were looking for the roam clear, looking to try and get a bit of control down and a bit of lockdown. And throughout all of that time, we never saw a single body come close to being dropped. There was no actual pressure onto the site of the defenders itself. No real utility burn until maybe 10 seconds before that all cooked off. We saw Sophia Stun start to try and go through to burn the ADSs. It was late to the punch, and Cloud9 took the opportunity and advantage. They kind of had Electrify lured into a little bit of a false sense of security, and then went, let's turn on the gun skill, and let's turn on the push, and let's turn on finally winning a round with a little bit more confidence than we otherwise seen.
Alright, Cloud9 turning on and turning up. Are they going to be able to continue this streak, or is Electrify yet again going to be pulling out these impossible rounds? Because I feel that's been the story for at least two of them. They shouldn't have won it, but they managed to do it on the back of the Cloud9 mistakes.
Yeah.
And that is all to credit to Electrify, I have to say, because like, often people say it wasn't them that won it, it was Cloud9 that lost it. But it's more so that you are there to take advantage of those mistakes that happen. And, you know, to finish first, you first have to finish. That's exactly what Electrify did. They were there in the moment when they needed to be there, because the mistakes that were being made, you cannot discredit them for that.
No, but that's the thing I was saying about Electrify, is it seems like they're punishing these mistakes without really knowing that the mistakes are happening. They're able to just kind of play and get through, and the rounds that they took were these situations where I think they found successes, but it was accidental millionaires. It was those kind of moments. And now it's Electrify that have to try and apply that pressure and try and punish those mistakes aggressively and with a forte and with a bit more of their kind of intensity. And so far, obviously, on that first round, as I said, slowed, paced, and a little bit cautious for a team that was 2 rounds up.
Yeah, very cautious indeed, but this might be a bit of pressure they're not used to. They are suddenly in lead against these giants of Cloud9. They are the major champions. It's a big name in esports, and I'm sure that many of these players looked up to players like, for example, Shal and Infiltrate for a long time, and now they're competing against them this whole season yet. And they were beating them for just a little bit here, and it's up to them now to try and continue that. And that would really complete some of these players, their stories, how you look up to some of these players and then suddenly you're up against them. And if you beat them, that is a dream come true.
Spraying towards the drones, but don't quite catch it, and Shia has to fall a little bit further back. Fires into the angle opened up into the dorms. But look at the aggression of Nova. Digs themselves into the smoke corner a little too late. And again, if I'm going to talk about these moments that could have been punished by a team more aware, Electrify, they're just not there, unfortunately. We can hear a lot going on down towards this attic side. Ned goes for a big rotation to try and, again, get a bit more control, but they're waiting for the two bodies inside attic to get a bit closer and apply a little bit more intense counter pressure.
Drone's being taken down by Nova, who now gets himself up onto the table and games. Hoping to be for a good pressure point. Smokes are being tossed out. Counter smoke received as well from Nova, just to make sure that the entry is not coming through yet. An EMP will be, no, a grenade will be caught off by an ADS, I have to say. It's not going to be working out too well for them either. See the ping coming through, as in, do we have to open up this for you? Like, do you want to have this complete rotation, the extra pressure? And it shows that Electrify is not quite sure about what they want to do yet. And as I say that, Ray jumps in, but he's not going to be able to get the first kill down as he gets taken down by MV Taylor. The reply, however, is there as a team. Oh, just a self-nade from Ed coming through. He cooked it a bit too long. It's up to Triple Lift now to try and recover the damage that has been done as he is in this 2v2 situation, but he will go down. It's all up to Pikachu now in a 1v2 situation, but as he shuts down as well, it is Cloud9 that will win the round and draw things back up in a series of unfortunate events right here for Electrify.
Well, it's a good kind of sighting there because it really seems to start to be a cacophony and comedy of errors. That these two teams are slipping and falling on the perpetual banana peels that they seem to be throwing out in front of themselves. A self-grenade. We didn't really see it pop off, but it's never good in the moment where, again, I've got to cite how late the comparison is in terms of them actually applying pressure. Sure, they were getting themselves stacked up in a position and they were able to open up the wall that they needed to, and they were kind of trying to creep their way up the attic, but you have to have a bit of a sharpness towards the push on either side, and because it didn't really have any pace on the attic side, even though they got walking open quite quickly, there was nowhere they could really go, so they were stuck there kind of twiddling, and then we started to see some smokes come, but with the 40 seconds that had been lost over that time and Smoke being able to get into the position he was, it became an easier hold for Smoke, who could just go, okay, well, I've not been suffering on Attic. I know Attic's fine, so I'm not needed there. So, oh, there we go, counter smoke and another counter smoke. We're not really seeing things being burnt either, and I guess if anything, it shows a bit of caution that I don't think Electrify should really be showing, but it's hard in that position, I know, and it's very easy from my position to be like they should be more confident when you are, as you said, up against C9, up against a huge team, and up against the odds, because you know how you look on the scoreboard right now.
4-4, it's all drawn up, and of course the defense side has it ever, a little bit easier, if not a lot more, on certain maps. And that is always something to keep in mind. So a 4-2 split is it's good for Electrify. It would be good against, for example, Scars or Talon, their direct opponents. But Cloud9, they have something extra if they want to. And it's up to them to try and bring it now. If they manage to bring it here, that should be a win. And, well, that is definitely that little extra you need if you take down Triple Lift that early on. Just by shutting down the quick upside down repel. When you're playing two players in tower. And Electrify wants to take control of it. And it goes wrong straight away. That is a good start to the round for Cloud9.
Well, the angles are being held from beneath as well. They're doubling down and trying to meet the face front on. The drone gets dropped, but Child doesn't care. They still have the cover from above and are kind of baiting them and trying to play. Oh, there is a bit of the cover, but it's from the hands of Electrify. Pikachu, who has been one of the shining stars for the Electrify moment so far, and if anyone has been able to play with a consistency that isn't falling under the cacophony, well, it's generally been them out of the board. Triple lifts off, sure. Sledge is gone, and that's frag grenades too, but with how last round went, maybe that's not the worst.
There was Ed then, who tried to kick a grenade just to take down the player who might be playing in games. They kicked it a little bit too long. He took out his own life instead and helped Cloud9 getting that one kill closer towards the eventual draw point, which they just managed to pick up. It's 4-4, and as mentioned many times before right now, and as Nova gets picked up, that's a good frag from Sino to start things off with. It's Pikachu putting up some pressure as well, pumping out these breaching charges to potentially take care of some shields or some walls. is the man advantage for Electrify with a minute to go. Smokes are being tossed out. There is no counter smokes available though, and that means that if the second smoke is going to be coming out soon, surely the plant will follow.
50 seconds, and the pace has been a bit sharper, but this is where we've seen Electrify slow a little bit, unfortunately, before. They try and get a little bit more before they go to apply the pressure, but sometimes you just have to have the confidence that we've seen C9 flaunt and just push your way through. Ray off the board. That is a big loss as it brings the body balance back in line and means they can't set themselves up for the full aggro trades. And again, that's 20 seconds and Pikachu is still just trying to find something on the backside to draw some attention away. A C4 pops. There's one more off the board. Time still hasn't made anything of the push on the opposite side. They're waiting for Pikachu, but Shyal is there to catch them. And the Electrify bodies, well, they just stay stuck outside the stage.
Static's leg was sticking out the entire time, but he wasn't spotted by Triple F, maybe under the effect of the Grismot mine that was tossed out by Ella before he stepped in it. Of course, your screen starts shaking. You might not be paying too much attention to the peripheral view as you want to make sure you can hit your shots as someone peeks out at that moment in time. But a 5-4, Cloud9, they take the lead here. They have the opportunity to push themselves to match point as they manage to get all three sites. No, two sites actually. They're now going to Laundry Supply. I was going to say they played the tertiary bomb site and they managed to win that. But Laundry is up next. They're working their way top down. And that means Laundry is the side, I believe, with a 60% defensive win rate. That's a really good foresight here for Cloud9.
At this moment in time, my curiosity about Electrify is how much do they want before they go for their execute? How much control do they feel they need to have before they have the confidence? Because as I've cited there and I've cited in almost every single round, they're getting to the situation where they could apply pressure, but they wait for something to happen somewhere else. They wait for another body. In that situation, we saw them one body count up with the wall open, and they waited for 40-50 seconds before they threw themselves onto the site, and that was only just for Pikachu to go on a big rotate and possibility of taking someone from behind. Okay, it would be great, but that doesn't mean you have to stop everything else and the pressure you've already started cooking up, especially when you have the man advantage.
The man advantage is such a big advantage to have here in Rainbow, as it allows you. It's a shooter, right? You can just refrag. It's a one-shot headshot game. If you manage to have the refrag potential, you can just run in with two at a time, or run in right after. Maybe even pitch from two directions. There's so many opportunities you can use that man advantage to your advantage. It's just such a shame to lose it by, well, basically walking into an angle that was being held and not having someone ready to go for a refrag. But hey, Cloud9 right now are stepping up to the name that they carry, stepping up to the expectations they have created after stage 1, and are hoping that they are going to be here to close out this game, and well, they definitely need some more rounds to do so.
Pre-firing down the stairs, and Triple Lift, a player who is so good on the defense, hasn't quite been able to find their way into the attacks as of yet. Now's the collapse against the clash, and there goes an air jab shot on one side. There's another Z ping, and well, there's another possibility of an air jab. They're playing the game here, and it's a dangerous one as they swing, and well, they don't quite catch anything there, unfortunately.
Not going to be able to get a single one down. A little bit of damage done into Ray, of course, from the zaps coming through from Static. Right now, MPs are being tossed out. We'll be taking care of the ADS just momentarily. That allows the breaching charge to come through. We'll be dealing with the ADS right after as well. So for when it comes back online, it's not going to be catching anything else. Lights are still off as well, of course. It's a little nice effect in the surroundings that it will have the shield now taken down, and no reinforcement yet to come out from Cloud9 to stop and, well, hinder the potential blue push that is going to be coming through. A lot of damage being done, but Shao manages to survive. He's going to be able to get the first frag down with 60 seconds left. The diffuser was dropped. Will be picked back up, but the man advantage definitely in favor of Cloud9 like this.
Cloud9, you've started to turn everything on, and it was on your defenses. Two very clean kills to wrap off, and I talked to Triple F not quite having the effect on the attacks he had on the defense. He's got to have the biggest attack and offense anyone could possibly have right now to pull this round together. The ace clutch situation locked off before it begins truly, with one kill to ruin the flawless and irritate Dev's day. Cloud9, match point.
Surely they will be able to close this off now. There's almost no way around it. Cloud9 really stepping up on their defense so far, getting a 4 flawless one so far. They might be able to make this 5 rounds in a row, make it an absolute, well, sprint to the end, really, as soon as they went over to the defense themselves to show Electrify how it's done. Electrify, they will have to worry because they had a, they had an advantage. They had the 4-2 split. They've had some man advantages as well, but they weren't able to close them out just yet. And if there's a time to do so, it's definitely now, because otherwise you'll find yourselves with your first loss of phase 2.
Kids' dorms main hall. A site of heroics, a site of stories, a site of tales told to the Electrify grandchildren for years to come. But you've got to try and make it happen on your attack. And unfortunately, the attack is something that you probably don't want to write home about in any sense. Nobody really needs to know what has happened across here. And I guess the fair answer is C9 stopped making mistakes, and Electrify, well, they haven't really been able to punish anything that's happened. For this is C9 just waiting. Waiting and waiting, and then going, I'm tired of waiting, and swinging on to Electrify as they try to apply any little bit on any of the walls. It just kind of falls, unfortunately.
Checking like no Kaid being brought out, of course. It's easily countered by the EMPs, if they are being brought, that is. Not the case here, no Tetra coming out from Electrify. Can be missed by MV Taylor, not going for a read throw, as it might be spotted out. And there we go. Quick Cam being spotted out, ping 2.0 coming in. And right now, Electrify are dealing with some of the information gathering tools that Cloud9 have available to them. But of course, they still need to find themselves some entries as well and actually make it work this time. And that is the biggest issue they've had so far. They've managed to find entries, they've managed to find openings, but they weren't able to close them out. And that is their main worry right now, the main struggle, and something they really need to be getting in control for the remainder of this phase.
Attention's coming onto the close windows, and they're seeing if they can pinch somebody on a closer rotation, but no catch as of yet. Pre-fires is the name of the game and the story, and the aim is not, unfortunately, true as of yet. They're able to stay in and under the window and not truly get cooked and pushed out. Here comes the pressure onto walking on the opposite side, but look at the blue bodies on such a deep roam underneath, and there goes one that's in the kitchen. Unfortunately, Triple Lift has found himself cooked yet again. Another round falls, and he's really been unable to get in to C9 on their defense. And, well, I talked about the C9 confidence before. They're happy here. Shael and Harper are just playing down and locking underneath. Shael has rotated underneath already. And you think in the hands of Electrify, how can you pinch? How can you apply pressure? Or can you read that there isn't a huge amount onto the site itself right now?
Cloud9 with the man advantage, Triple Lift of course being the shining star of Electrify, hoping to make a play with Phil to do so. Shael now was allowed to sneak up a bit closer to that wall. A punchel was created on his back. I'm not sure if he realized right now we will be pincered though, as that is moving down. Shael managed to pick up Ray, the pre-fire coming in, but Shael is already long gone. Taking a bit of care for the potential pre-fire to come in, and will be hiding himself into the laundry room just to come up for a late flank again, because just look at how Electrify has set themselves up. One onto the white stairs, one below the white stairs, and we have one on the big window. The flank could be so huge right here. It could be so impactful as you manage to shut them down one by one. It's that Shael deciding to go all the way around through the big tower, and now finding himself a way through the kitchen for these last 30 seconds.
Keeping their eyes, their angles, and unfortunately keeping Pikachu out of the board and out of the push. Here's the pressure coming. Sino can't quite find anyone on close, but it doesn't matter when Shael's underneath and all around. 4 versus nobody. Cloud9 started with a stumble, but hey, now they're there.
Electrify really gave them a run for their money though, especially in that first half. They were able to capitalize onto the mistakes that Cloud9 made time and time again. Eventually, however, we came over to the defense, of Cloud9, and after that, basically flawless, not making many mistakes. Just look at Sean and Harper, both on 14 kills, really stepping up their game in this second half. And it's Cloud9 that win it here. They will continue. It's 1-0, and will they be able to set that through for the remainder of this phase? That is the question. But let's toss it over to the analysts to break down this match of many mistakes, but the expected outcome.
The expected outcome, indeed. It took way too long.